I don't know when 4th of July is. I don't know when Martin Luther King Day is. I don't know when any of these days are, because every single day is a work day for me.
Why do you think I'm sitting next to you?
I stop it.
Right.
I knew it.
So you want to be a travel videographer? Who's gonna pay you?
We actually had a camera literally shoot off the slider and into the ground.
Floors,
He said, "I'll sweep the floors.
I'll go get coffee.
I'll clean the bathroom." And I said, "My guy, I can clean my own bottom. Thank you."
Your own bottom.
Definitely can't be in this business if you think your shit don't stink.
Anyway, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the 180 Degree Podcast. I am Joseph. We got Tyler Manis over here and Mr. Stephen Austin Films. Feel free to follow us on Instagram at Keyword King, Tyler Manis Photo, and Stephen Austin Films. Today, guys, we have a little bit of more of an authentic kind of conversation that we're going to have with everyone today, because we were really not feeling it, man. We have so much stuff going on, and it's one of those things where it's like, man, we just want to get what we have to get done, but we really have so much more to do. But anyway, today we're talking about what it's really like to be a creator, what it's really like to be your own businessman, what it's really like to be, just here in the beautiful, and I can't ever forget it, in the beautiful Hype Visuals HQ. We're up here, back, everybody.
We're back.
We're back.
To sinking.
Yes. So today, guys, we were talking about what it's really like. So it's more like, I don't know. I think you should listen to this if you want to be a creator, if you want to be a filmmaker, photographer, a creative. If you want to do that, I think you should watch this, because you're going to be a little bit more disappointed than excited at times.
There's a lot of frustration.
Well, I guess it's more so like we could go more technical with this, talk camera gear and camera specs and all things like that. There's a lot of other people that do that really well, and so we're talking more, I guess, of our personal experiences and what it is to be in this space, essentially. So I think this is something that I would personally listen to, so why not create it?
Yeah, big facts. So I will tell you right now, and Steven is going to agree with me, man. It's like, guys, you are going to deal with so much stuff to where you're not going to want to get up and go to work. And I feel like it's the worst, because we make our own schedule. We are the ones that call the clients. Like if we don't want work, we just don't work.
And
like
it's
if we
not even just Mondays. It's like every day of the week, I feel like.
Well, dude, I was gonna say, let me ask you this. Yo, Tyler, Steven, when is y'all's day off?
What's that?
he said, what is that?
I usually try to take Sunday.
I mean,
at least
I'll
one
call
day.
both of y'all out if you want me to, because I'm a 7-day a
This
week.
guy
Okay,
group
time out.
text-
Let me hit you
this
guys
guy
yesterday.
Group text, seven texts deep. And I'm like, okay, which one do I wait to respond to? Just
No,
dude. So yesterday was like the Super Bowl and everything like that, and so we're over
Who
here.
cares?
Well, hold on. I'm just saying that I'm the same way, dude. Like on Sundays, typically that's the day where I'm typically not working, but I was working, and I'm sure that Tyler probably got bothered. He's like, dude, Joseph left me on red, but he's responding in another thread to a client, because I'm just like, dude, I have a lot to get done. I worked yesterday. It was intense, man. You don't get days off.
There's definitely those days where you just want to put the phone
Unless you're
aside
Steven.
and not deal with it, which I usually try to do, but it doesn't always work.
No,
But you have to.
I mean, no, and that's one of the biggest things. I feel like if you really want to get into this space and you want to make a difference and actually have something successful, man, as much as you may think that having a business is a dope idea, it really is more like you're going to have no life. Like you're going to work so much more. I think I saw this vlog of Potato Jet, man, and he actually said, I love what I do, but I have never worked this much in my life. And I was like, yo.
100%. And that's what people's common misconception is that you work for yourself, you make your own schedule. If you don't have a schedule where you're waking up at a decent time to talk to clients, you're not going to have work. So and for me, people complain about the 40-hour weeks. We're almost doubling that.
Yeah.
And so you have to, especially in this space, because not only are we accounting for time when we're shooting, there's a ton of editing. There's a ton of post work. There's a ton of admin stuff. Like there's a lot to it that people don't see.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I get frustrated with, because to them, they'll be like, yo, man, you just came out and you just shot for like 2 hours and you're making, a couple grand off of me. And I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand. We were actually just talking about this earlier, man. It's just like, especially if you're like editing somebody else's footage, you realize that like, hey, you actually got to watch all this back. You know what I mean? I mean, at least in my opinion, that's what you got to do.
No, and that's true. You can't just go cut something from footage that you're not aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
Like you have to have some idea of what you're going to put where. And yes, you can script through, but also for depending on the type of edits, there's audio that you want to utilize. So we're watching it back. Okay, yes, we'll watch it back at 2 times, but that's still hours of footage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say this, like, if somebody was to tell me, let me just say this, I'm going to put this on the table for you guys. How would you guys fill in the blank if I was to say, so you want to be a creator, you need to
put in the work.
Prepare for long ass days.
Yeah, extremely long days. What were you gonna say, man?
Oh, I said put in the work. Yeah, get ready. Yeah, it might not be the normal 8 to 5, but if you're not working on an edit, then you might have to respond to multiple emails. If you're not responding to emails, you might be working on the next social media post. I mean, there's always something to do. So it's all about how much work are you willing to put in.
Dude, I actually had a friend of mine who he hit me up and he goes, "Hey man, what are you doing today?" And I was like, "Working." And he says, "So you want to hang out later?" And I was like, "Sure." He's like, and so that's like one of the close friends. But then on the other side, you have the friends that don't know me. And I'd be like, "What are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "Working." They're like, "All right, I'll catch you later." Because it's like they don't understand, like, I am always working. Like, there's always something to do, especially, man, if you're trying, like, you know, as far as like Tyler and I, you're trying to take care of like your personal brand over here, Instagram, what you want to do, your collaborations, your gear that you want to review, all that kind of stuff. And then the other side, you have like all these clients that you got to deal with and all that stuff.
Well, also, we do have I don't know, for you out of towners, we do have a pretty bad weather going on right now, and we got ice outside, and a lot of people are, you know, taking off work. Like one of my buddies said, "Hey, I'm going to get on Call of Duty." And I said, "Bro, I'm working. Yeah. We got stuff to do."
Yeah, you can't call into your own business.
Right.
It's a little more, I mean, it's a little difficult. I mean, to an extent, yes. But like Joseph was saying, it's if I call off today or take a couple hours off, I still have stuff to balance. Like it doesn't really work like that.
Yeah, like I this is something that I've always kind of just reminded myself. It's like, if you truly want to be creator, you need to truly have a passion further than just this makes money, because that is going to fall flat on its face like real quick. Like, you're going to get exhausted real quick, because it's like you have to have people talk about it all the time. It's like you have to have a why. Like, why are you doing something? Like, why do you shoot? Why do you do these things? Like, so check this out, man. I think like 2-3 days ago, we actually went and we shot, and it was freezing cold, just like it was right now. It was cold. And then we went upstairs to a rooftop, and then even more so cold with all the wind that was all coming in.
My thumbs don't work.
Yes, dude. Everything was just frozen. And all the guys that were there, nobody, including myself, none of us are getting paid to shoot here. Nobody. Everybody's in the freezing cold shooting. You need to understand that these guys are there because they want to be there. They're there because of a passion. They're there because they have a drive. They're there because they like this. You know, I really think that you need to find out your why you're doing something before you start thinking about any kind of payment and hours and all that jazz.
And
right.
You'll know, you'll know, because there'll be times where I'll be here working on an edit or out shooting, and I'm like, I can't believe like I'm actually getting paid to do this. Like, it doesn't even feel like work. Coming in here to the studio every day doesn't feel like an office, does not feel like work. And so you'll know when that why is there, when it's just, I mean, it's easy. It's not a job. I mean, it is your work, but
yeah, no. So like, I kind of agree with you, but I'm curious to hear Tyler's take on this, because for Tyler, like, Tyler legit is like, he says, I'm working every single day, and Tyler calls it work, you know, even if he does it with a smile on his face. So I'm curious.
Yeah, and kind of to touch back on shooting, what was that, Saturday night? So we woke up, we went to bed at 2, got up at 6, shot until 2, and then drove back. I was home for 30 minutes, long enough to throw my luggage back in the house, and then went back downtown and shot from 7 to 11-ish,
Yeah,
10:45?
maybe like 10-ish or 11-ish, and you know, yeah. I mean,
then there's days where we need content for Instagram. Like, people are like, "Oh, cool, you have thousands of followers on Instagram. That's great. That's awesome. Must be nice." No, it's not a must be nice situation. There's days where it's cold, rainy, gross like this, and like I could just sit at home on the couch and call it good. But if we want to maintain, you know, our audience and keep people engaged and all that stuff, it's almost like a job as well, where you're like, "Oh crap, I have to go get something for content." Which, I'll be honest, like, I've been a little slacking lately just because we've been dealing with client work. But that's like a big point is people don't see this takes effort to keep up your social media and your following and stuff like that. Like people will hear about, you know, a possible brand deal that we're working on or a collaboration, but don't see all the back end work and hours of stuff that it took to get there.
Exactly. You know, man, I would always see this all the time. It's like, you know, I would see the stories of all these different creators and they're like hanging out and they're like in each other's stories. I'm like, yo, what a dope experience. How sick would that be? And then I got into that kind of like area and into that, you know, zone. And I realized that it's actually like that is maybe like a 5% or 10% of the entire experience that you're actually encountering there. Because going back to what you were saying, bro, as far as like, yo, this is a job. It takes time to get into it. I honestly, dude, I don't know when Christmas is. I don't know when 4th of July is. I don't know when Martin Luther King Day is. I don't know when any of these days are because every single day is a work day for me. I only know about when Christmas is coming around or one of those days is coming around if I need content to post on that exact day. Like I don't even think about it.
Speaking of which, today's my 5-year anniversary with my wife, and my wife and I are both working.
Congratulations. Can we get like a cheer? Yeah.
God, that is so loud.
Raise the roof.
So
I just realized that I showed so loudly that I was a 90s baby right there.
So, and a lot of people will plan for that. Like they'll take the days off and stuff like that. But my wife being a salon owner and us running Hyped, like it's something that not only do we want to do, but it's something that like we have to maintain. Otherwise, like the girls at the salon, they need Carissa there. They need the back end, the planning and all that stuff. And people think it's, you know, that the whole thing must be nice.
Yeah.
Thing that people say often drives me insane.
Why does that bug you so much, bro?
Why?
Yeah. Why does it bug you so much when somebody say like, must be nice? Because these are the same people that are working 40 hours a week, but they hate their job. Yeah. But you love your job and you're working 80 hours a week.
Dude, and I don't know. It always has rubbed me the wrong way. And I think that, I guess my kind of perception of when they say that is they think it was easy and like getting to the point, like they don't see, you know, me working 3 years straight, living off of 3 hours of sleep a night to be able to do this. They never see that.
No, yeah, dude, big facts, by the way. Like Tyler's a freaking machine, bro. Like Tyler goes to bed at 3, 4 in the morning. He was like, hey man, I sent you some stuff. And I look at the time stamp on the email, 4:03 a.m. email sent. And I said, and I was like, okay. And then I wake up at 9 a.m. and he's like, and then I see a text message, 6:30 a.m. It says, wake up, mother. And I'm like, whoa, that's too much energy for this morning, my guy.
All
you have to.
The time. All week long.
I can't help it, man. I can't turn it off. And to an extent, like, just be mindful of that. Like, just because you can, don't overwork yourself. Because, you know, I got into a pretty bad space there at the end of last year, just overworking myself. So be mindful. Yeah, it's cool to be like, oh, I'm working all the time, but please take care of your mental health. Like, it's not a joke. Like, I experienced that pretty heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that that's something that even creators, so like, maybe you guys have noticed it, maybe you haven't, but as far as creators are concerned, did you guys ever see this wave on YouTube? Like the whole wave of like all these different cats that they were just going through like a really tough time, you know? And they were just saying how they, you know, like, it was like, you need to take care of mental health. And it's like, it was everywhere, right? And at first I thought, I was like, yeah, dude, everybody struggles with that. Everybody and their mama struggles with that. Suck it up, son. We all are. You know, that's how I would look at it. But dude, I don't think people realize whenever you're a creator, you are alone constantly, man. Like you don't have like somebody like to bug you or somebody to talk to you or anything. It's literally when I'm editing, which probably takes, you know, the majority of the time, you're by yourself with some headphones, listening to music, and it may not be the music that you want to listen to, and you're just sitting there the whole time. And man, that takes a toll on you, bro. Like it really does.
Well, also what takes a toll on you, we're all perfectionists. Obviously, we wouldn't be in this business if we weren't. But I'm very, very hard on myself and the work that I do. So that's also a ton of pressure on you and wanting to make the client happy. And you know what I mean? You send that out and your work out, and even then you're still like, oh my God, is it good enough? Is that going to be good enough? So even that on top of everything else is stressful. Right. So it is just so much more important to make sure that you take care of yourself, like Tyler's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that it kind of becomes like a slippery slope in my opinion, because it's like, at what point would you draw the line when it comes down to you can make this video, a client video, the best video that you've ever made, but then there's the other side of it. It's just like, hey man, I love to do this, but I have to get paid and we need to get on to the next project. Like, I know it sounds bad, but like, and I feel there's a balance that you need to find, but it's like, you cannot make a Steven Spielberg film for every single client that you have. Like, it's just not possible, man. Like, if you want to live at this, it's not possible. You just got to, finish is better, done is better than, than undone. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's also, I guess what comes into play is the client's deadline. And that's a big one. If you have the time and pretty flexible in the schedule, then go ahead, like, kill it. But if you have someone breathing down your neck already for a project that's due today, whatever, the next day, there's not there should be a fine line of expectation and what they're actually going to receive, because it's not your job to stay up 24 hours to get this thing and make sure it's done correctly if their deadline was not feasible necessarily.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Man. Yeah, dude. No, so it's interesting because I actually had somebody who reached out to me and they said, "Hey, man, we love this video that you did," and it was a video that I did for my just my YouTube channel. Like, nobody paid me. It wasn't even a sponsored video. Like, this was literally just Joseph wanted to do this, so Joseph went, shot it, and created it, right? And then they're just like, "Hey, I want something like that," and I was like, "Okay, I can give you something like that, but," and they're just like, "Well, how much I got to pay you?" This and that. And I'm like, well, that's the thing, man, is that, like, there's a very big difference between my goal, my vision, my time to put into it, and very different for you who you're paying. Does that make sense?
Right,
I don't even know.
Because you're putting that time and that work in to grow your business.
Exactly.
Can I interject on this and
Do
kind of go off of that? Is, I guess, coming to someone that shoots stuff on all tripod, super kind of boring, corporate-y, talking head stuff, and then coming to someone like us that there's hardly ever a time where our cameras touch tripods. And also kind of in that same little area of putting us in a box on what your expectations are versus what we think is going to work. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
putting us in a creative box that locks us down on like certain styles and of shooting and things like that.
Yeah, yo, Steven, you want to take that one? I'll piggyback off of you, brother.
I mean, basically, what you're saying is, rather than being at a shoot and just having tunnel vision, we're going to set everything on tripod. We're going to do, simple talking heads. We're taking the creativity out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what we are, what we do. We want to be creatives, and we have to be allowed to be creative. And a lot of times people will appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of open this up, man. And I'm going to kind of like, I'm curious to see, I'm going to stir the pot a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
God.
So where would you say is the balance, and at what point do you get to express yourself as a creative and have creative control? And where do you have to hold yourself back and say, hey man, they're the boss, they write the checks, they're giving me the money? Because dude, I have some people that they had no problem being like, oh, you're not going to do that? We'll go find someone else.
Right. And I guess for me, it's we've had clients that kind of set the parameters of where we're supposed to be and what they want to show, and they'll let us run it. They'll let us do what we think creatively and what works. And then there's clients like that come to us are like, okay, I want this shot at this angle, at this shot at this. I don't think our work shines whenever you put us in a little box.
Right.
And so you can't expect, I guess, essentially kind of the concept of your YouTube channel, of that creative flexibility that you have, if you put us in this little area and we can't step out. And that's the problem. And that's what I think a lot of clients need to realize, is that if you come to us, don't come to us for your talking head corporate video.
Right.
Find the person that'll do that. We can help you if that's what you want. That's fine. But don't expect us to kind of live in that little box that you're trying to set us in.
Yeah, which that leads me to the next thing, is just like, you need to be a specialist in what you do. You want to be a creator, you need to be a specialist in something. Don't get me wrong, bro. You can do your thing. You can dabble in, like, your fast edits and then like your talking head. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good. Learn those things. Have fun. Do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, you need to be a specialist, man. Because I will tell you this, bro, I'm going to get me Invisalign. I'm going to become a 10. It's going to be exciting. I'm going to get nice
You're already
teeth.
a 10, sweetie.
Oh, thank
yeah.
you.
Why do you think I'm sitting next to you?
I stop it. I
Right.
knew it.
And I just want to say, like, we won't. It's not like we won't put a camera on a
yeah,
tripod.
hey man, bring out that camper out there, Julius.
gosh.
Bring her out here,
Julius.
Julius. Sorry, Tyler.
I just don't even know where you come up with these names and these little references.
If I'm being honest with you, bro, I have so many movies in my head, and I literally grabbed from 3 different movies for that one phrase that I just said.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, go ahead, bro.
No, but like if your video needs a little talking head section, that's fine. We can do that. I'm not saying we won't do that, but I'm saying is if you want the whole preface of the video to be talking head stuff of someone sitting in a chair, I'm sorry, that's not really for us.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it goes back to the whole thing, man. It's like you need to be going back to what I was saying as far as like, I'm going to get Invisalign, I'm going to get my teeth straightened out, I'm going to do my thing or whatever. One of the things that I figured out, like, dude, even though they both, like a dentist and an orthodontist, they both go to dental school, both go to med school and everything like that. But did you know that the orthodontist, they can't clean your teeth? They can't like do a consultation. They literally just stick to, is it orthodontry? Is that how you say it? Like
orthodontics,
orthodontal work. Like they only do that kind of stuff. So because that's the only thing that they do, they're more expensive because they specialize in this. Doesn't mean they can't do it,
Right.
but that's what they stick with. And hey, man, you want to make some more money? There's a reason why people stick to music videos.
right?
That's
They
one of the
stick
reasons
to,
why I love shooting weddings. It's because, yes, you're going to have the bride and the mother of the bride, father of the bride. They're going to want the specifics. They're going to want the ceremony. They're going to want the toast. They're going to want all of the special moments. But I'm allowed to take that and be creative with it as much as I want to.
Yes.
And one of the things that I do on my contracts is I have it written out to where when they sign that, they're basically at the videographer's discretion on how they want to create the video.
So speaking,
Now, it won't be, it's not that I won't, take into consideration any corrections or anything that they want to change about it. It's just when they sign that contract, they are aware that,
Right.
they're under my discretion.
That's a good point. Let's talk about that right now, man. Like
the fact that people need to pay attention on who they're hiring for a specific project,
and also what is written inside that specific contract that says, like, I have it in there, bro, that it says, like, it says creative control and it says, I'm the boss. Well, it doesn't really say that, but it says it really fancy. And it says at the end of it, I'm the boss. Like, I'm the one that's going to get the call. So like, even if you say this or whatever, but I think that there's like I feel like there's some creators, man, that, and Tyler, I'm sure we've actually seen people this way. So like, I know you've seen it, but some people that you can't write in your contract, I have creative control, and not be easy to work with.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I guess the reason why I say that is because, like, you have to be flexible, man. And I feel the majority of people that will say, I have creative control, probably don't take any kind of collaboration.
Right.
They don't take any ideas.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know. I mean, do you have that in your contract, Tyler? Do you too, Steven?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's kind of the benefit of us working together. So we've been able to kind of analyze each other's contracts. Because Hyped used to do weddings, which doesn't really make sense because Hyped visuals for a wedding doesn't really play off well. I guess this is a time to mention that all of our weddings, we're still doing them. They're just going through Stephen Austin.
That's right. Stephen Austin Films right there. Hit him with the cheers, ladies and gentlemen.
Reach out.
No, but that there's a reason. There truly is a reason why you surround yourself with better individuals. So just a couple of days back, Tyler and I, we went to Dallas. We were doing some like YouTube collaboration stuff and shooting and whatnot. And we had a friend of ours named Justin Hickox. All right. He is a YouTuber. He does hair and stuff. He's really into like gear and like video and photo and like great dude. Right.
Yeah.
And
he's awesome.
Yeah. He's a dope guy. He really is. And so one of the things that he mentioned, he posted to his story, he took a picture of us while we were working and he says, you want to learn? Surround yourself with people that are better than you. And I was just like, wow, I don't see myself that way, bro. But in his eyes, that's really what's going to make you grow. So why am I going to act like I'm the best at weddings? Why am I going to do that? Right. Let me get my guy over here who can actually do something with it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude.
Totally with you. I know that there's not much more input to add to that because, I mean, what is there to add?
No, I mean, it's true. Like, so going back to it, whenever it comes to being a creator, being and doing you as far as in this space, man, unfortunately, I think that you're going to have to, at sometimes, man, you will have to sacrifice to be able to be good to work with. You're going to have to sacrifice your vision. Like, people think that, oh, you're creative. That's awesome. You're so creative. And I'm just like, well, yes, I am. But I actually have to I'm placed in a box because I have to give what the client wants and I have to form it and mix it and twist it to make it look like I'm very creative. When in actuality, I was, not that I was forced, but it's like I have to do what you told me to do.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And if you guys are wanting to get into this industry, it's okay to kind of figure out what your niche is. You know, when I first started doing kind of everything. I did, you know, the athlete shoots, the blogger shoot, you know, lifestyle shoots. Yeah. I did the talking head interviews, and I enjoyed that. I learned a lot, but it wasn't until about 2 years in I was like, okay, I really like weddings, and I'm the best at that, and so that's the direction I took it. So, you know, get out there and start figuring out what your specific niche is, what you're best at, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
And so, dude, you hit it right on. You hit the nail right on. You hit the head knot.
What?
Great job.
Does not glitch in the matrix.
Does not compute. Yeah. So I truly agree, man. Because I get this all the time. I get this in DMs from different people, and they say, hey, Joseph, I want to do stuff like you. Tell me what I can do, this and that. And I said, how long you been shooting? They're like, oh, about 6 months to a year. I'm like, okay, stop. All right. You need to go and learn how to do a little bit of everything first and then come back and then start specializing. I know it sounds a little counterproductive, like if I'm contradicting myself, but it's like you need to be well-rounded before you can start specializing.
And it may seem like a lot, but just take one thing at a time. You know,
I think we hit that pretty well on the first episode of like, don't be afraid in the beginning to kind of get a little bit of experience in all these different areas and then kind of figure out where you want to be and niche down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So like one of the things here, you guys can't see them on camera. I'm going to go ultra wide, but we actually have two of our guys. These are like our assistants. They are.
Put up your hands.
Put up your hands, guys. Give them a cheer, bro. Hey. These guys are some good guys over here.
And they can't hear the cheers.
They can't hear
because we're special and have headphones on.
Yeah, but so these guys, man, this is Dalton and Bo. They run with us. They hang out with us. We invite them over. They learn things, you know. And it's one of those things that's just like, if you were to ask them, you're like, "What are you guys doing here?" And they're just like, "Well, we want to learn." Like, literally just being around that can give you so much more. Like, you don't necessarily need to take a Skillshare class. You can just go be around. Some's going to stick. I'll tell you that much.
Right. And these guys did it right. These guys, you know, Joseph and I both had a ton of DMs of people wanting to learn from us, work for us, whatever, in whichever regard that was. These two took the time and showed up at our office. Not saying do that. Please don't do that. Like, at least shoot a DM before.
He said, please don't do that. There's a line out front, 5 a.m. Joseph said you're up at 5 a.m., sir.
Most of the time we have our door locked. So yes,
we do. We did start locking our door during the day because as much as we want to meet people, if you come in at the wrong time, you might get a little bit grumpy people at you because we're trying to knock out
the light situation, what the lights mean. If you walk in and you know, all of our desks have
hopefully
LED,
they won't make it in
LED
that far.
light strips.
Without
you
talking
can always see, like, as you can tell, like, there's a whole bunch of lights in the place, but there's like lights around like the office space and everything. And so basically Steven actually calls it the red light district. I think that's what you call it, man. Basically, it just means like don't bug whenever that's going on. Because, hey, man, we got to get into our editing flow.
Go to your cut.
Oh, yeah.
See the red?
You see the red right there in the corner?
That means do not bother us.
Do not bother. But going back to it, I mean, we truly do want to, like, connect and whatnot. But these guys did it the right way in the sense that, like, they're showing up and they just said, hey, I love this, all right? It's kind of awkward because Bo is literally, I can see him out of the corner of my eye right now, so it's kind of awkward. But I will say that, like, Bo comes in and he goes, yeah, man, I just want to be here. I want to learn, right? And the first thing he says, the very first thing that comes out of his mouth, he says, I'll bring you guys coffee. I'll do what you got to do. I just want to be around.
Yeah,
and
he said, I'll sweep your floors.
He said, I'll sweep the floors.
I'll go get coffee.
I'll clean the bathroom. And I said, my guy, I can clean my own bottom. Thank you.
Your own bottom. No, and bleh, I can't word either.
No, his name is Bo.
Bo. No, and so we're looking at setting up a more formal type of internship, which we're going to be discussing later.
Yeah.
But, you know, the fact that they were both willing to come in and do whatever it takes to be on board, to sit here and be able to learn with us, I also don't want to take advantage of that, like I've heard a lot of other companies do, of just getting the free work, of getting the people that will clean this, do that. Like what are they going to learn from cleaning a bathroom?
Yeah, I've never understood the concept, man. Like the whole is like, oh, I'm an intern, and in movies especially, they always show.
Oh, they project it to be some.
Yeah,
I will
way
take a coffee though. Like if you want to save time and go
My
get
guy.
coffee, I will let you do that.
We bring each other coffees all the week long.
my guy, you're trying to give me a grande white chocolate peppermint mocha, extra whip, put in a
my
venti cup. Yo, I'm
I
down.
got a complicated order here.
We got a complicated order.
Oh, God.
Sicardi. Yeah, I'm with that. No, but it's so true, man. I mean, like, I think this is one of the biggest things is that, you know how we were talking about before, that you're going to have to sometimes sacrifice your creative vision, and you're going to have to, you know, be easy to work with. And that means sometimes not doing what you want to do. It's kind of the same thing here whenever it comes to working with other individuals and stuff. Maybe at the time, maybe you're not getting paid. Maybe that's not the thing. But if you're creating a relationship, I guarantee you that even though I can know somebody that is 10 times better than Bo, 10 times better than Dalton, 10 times better than all the interns combined as some like Megazord Power Ranger guy. Just because I have a relationship with these guys, they're going to get first in line for anything before anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's why they are here right now.
Exactly. That's one of the things. Like, if you want to be in this space, I suggest go, man. Go be around people that you just want to learn from.
Man, when I first started, I picked up the A7R2. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good camera. Not a terrible camera. Great for photo taking. But I reached out to a lot of people that I knew, and I just wanted to get content. And so I just said, hey, I'll do it for free. I'll do this. Let's get in the gym. I'll take some, shots of you working out, blah, blah, blah. Build that repertoire, and just grind. And you'll find that as you do that, you'll continue to do that for a little while, but then you'll find that you'll won't have to do that.
I need to get paid.
You won't have to do that as much.
Do you think, I was gonna ask, man, do you think that people like creatives, like especially like the new age guys, the ones that are teenagers, that they just want to start doing this stuff, do you think that they really understand the whole free work, or do you think that they just understand it in theory? Like, do you think that there's enough people out there that are providing that much free work to the point that you're thinking, like right now, picturing in your head how much free work they should be giving? Do you think that there's actual people practicing and doing it?
I think it's all theory. A lot of it's theory. I'll say this, that Bo is over there at 19 years old, but granted, he runs his own business and stuff like that, so he kind of has the experience of it. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of guys will be like, yeah, I'll do the free work, but will you actually?
Yeah.
Or are you just saying that because that's what we suggest you do?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to be straight up with you, man. Like, I was the guy that whenever... Let me say it this way. Like, I'm the kind of guy, man, that I will do a bunch of research on my own on YouTube, and, went to YouTube University, killing it and whatnot. But what I would do is I would go and do it by myself. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. If there's one thing that a creator could do, for the best thing that a creator can do, start a YouTube channel, start posting once a week. Let's see if you can do it, man. Like, just see
that's
if
a true test.
Yeah, seriously. Just see if you can do it and how long you can go for it. Forget vlogging once a day. Respect to my Casey Neistats and the guys that do that, but like, just try and do that, especially from like a professional filmmaking standpoint. Try and do it, and you're gonna realize that you will gain so much experience, and you can literally like
and respect.
Yes, respect, and you will literally get to the point, man, where you don't even have to. You don't have to think so much about something. You can just say, all right, we're going to do a shot over here, talking head. We're going to do one wide over here, no audio from it. We're going to do an over the shoulder from this side to the left side. Let's go ahead and run lives real quick, clap it up real quick. We'll knock it out in about 10 minutes. Like that's just because I've been, you make videos every single time. You just start grabbing pieces and you make your own picture.
And I'll say this, is I didn't really understand the amount of work, even being in the industry and being in, seeing so many YouTubers, and like there's some understanding of the amount of work that comes with it. But to see Joseph doing them, like that first time that I ever shot with you, I was like, holy crap, this man has like 47 freaking paragraphs of notes and his lines and stuff like that. And to see the drive that he has to push YouTube, I frankly don't have the time, but Joseph is putting forth that effort in that time to do it. And it was like it was a newfound respect for me to other YouTubers just of seeing him do it. Like,
right.
You might think that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of freaking work.
It's so different, like, when you actually sit down and you see it, man. You know, like, I sit down and I watch, like, so, like, here's the thing, man. Like, you can go and watch, like, a wedding film, right? You watch a wedding film and you just hear, like, what's it called? Like, the voiceover is just like, "Dear my lovely Steven, I am so happy to be with you." And it's like, "Dear my love Tyler," you know, and like it says all that stuff and it's totally cool. And when you're watching the video, you think it's so easy because it's just, well, yeah, dude, it's easy. It's a voiceover of them just reading a letter and you stick a camera there and it's just standing there. And then you get some pretty B-roll and some drone shots, right? But then you actually sit down and you realize how much goes into it. Dude, how much does each mic cost that's going to go onto the body so that you can capture that? You know, how fast you have to get there.
Even the thought process to put it there.
Yeah, man, like, where is it going to go? You know, and then it's like, wait, remember that all this stuff, typically, it's shot within the same 4 to 6 hours, man. Like, you don't have a lot. So, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you see a wedding film, you're like, I can do that better. Like, as a filmmaker, it's like, you know what? I can do that better. And I'm like, yeah, you can. Go try it, dude. This is literally, like, live stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the moment. So, I mean, go out there and you're going to realize how you'll have so much more found respect for people and creators once you actually see what goes into it, not just by watching their work.
Trust me, I see the hours that Steven puts in with his red light on.
Yo, what a red light
just
at?
Cranking, dude. it is insane to see the amount of work that he puts into it. And I'm like, oh, dang. Because people think like, oh, it's a wedding film. Like, it's kind of a cookie cutter template.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. Like, yes, weddings generally are kind of the same.
They have some
formats.
Yeah.
However, this person didn't say this. This person didn't say that. And finding the right words to J-cut into.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man.
Well, you're taking, 3 hours
Stephen Kills weddings.
of toasts or,
Wait, that happened?
I think it was closer to like 5 or 6, wasn't it? Maybe 5 or 6.
It was
hours.
insane.
You guys killed it.
We had a really long wedding.
Covered my back.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. But yeah, you're basically going through 8 hours, 10 hours of footage, 1, 2 hours of toast, and you're bringing that down to what, 5, 6, 7 minutes? And you have to put it in an order that makes sense. You can't just have people speaking sentences throughout a video. And you have to create an actual story of actually a very chaotic day.
Yeah, man. And I just think it kind of frustrates me, man, whenever you get clients and they just sit there and they're just like, oh, well, I'm thinking of a video anywhere from like 7 to 8 minutes. And then us as filmmakers are like,
what
the heck?
Well, especially after we hear the details of what they're wanting to do.
Yeah.
And they have this thought in their head like, oh, I'll be able to get it across in 5 to 7 minutes. And I hear what they want to accomplish. And I'm like, we could knock this out in 2 minutes or less, because anything after that, you're probably going to lose your audience. So ideally, let's stick to under 60 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
If we have to stretch, go to 2. But anything other than that, as far as like outreach and marketing goes, it needs to be short and to the point.
And it's interesting that you say that, bro, because I feel like there's like a spectrum when it comes to creating content. I feel like it's something like this, right? Right in the center is something that is easy and like in the mid-range of how like long like some content would be easy-wise. And then on the other hand, on this side, if something gets really short, that's hard to do, man. Have you ever tried shooting a commercial for somebody? You have 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Like, dude, that's hard. To capture everything that you shot into something so small is difficult, right? And then once you get into that 3 minute, 4 minute, that's like a really comfortable spot. You have enough time to put some stuff in there, whatever. But then when you want something really long, 8, 12 minutes plus, now you're like, okay,
I got to find filler.
I got to find filler. I got to find how I'm going to position. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's like this pendulum, you know what I mean? It's just like on this side, it gets really hard. And then on the opposite side, it gets really hard. And so there's just this sweet spot in there. But then again, people are not asking for 2-minute promos, man. You need a 60-second promo or less. So if you want to be good at this stuff, you need to figure out how to be concise, get your ish said fast, done, nice, and clean, for real. I think one of the biggest things that seems to just get overlooked in some cases, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, somebody wants to be a creator, man, and they have like this drive, right? They see the new Sam Colder video and they're just like all over, right? They're like, yes, I'm gonna be the new Sam Colder.
Are we going to like a I wouldn't be a travel videographer thing that's been on our notes since day one?
Hold on to that one. We are gonna come to that one.
So this question we actually pulled from Bo because we asked him, since you've heard all this discussion so far, what would you think our audience would benefit with you in the position that you're now here with us, right?
So one of the things that would be so pretty much what I'm trying to get to is, how is it that you can find that happy medium between, I'm so excited and I want to be a creative and I want to get the camera in my hands, I want to go shoot, and then on the other side, actually sitting down, learning, and just trying to get good and feel comfortable. Because, there's the idea, it's like the spectrum, and Bo said it really nicely. He said, you have over here, you have these cats over here that they're really driving for it. It's the newness of it. They want to learn. And then they feel that they got to feel for it. They start charging $50 per video, which is, pennies to a certain extent.
Continually saturating the industry.
Exactly. Do you do that, or do you go over here, spend some time with some real creatives who are actually doing this, get a real good feel for it, maybe a year, 2 years, and then you can sit there and go to somebody and be like, hey, I'm going to charge you $1,000 for this video. Then you're like, well, how many videos have you made? It's just like, well, I haven't made any videos personally, but I've worked with a team and we've done this. And then you just drop a freaking reel of a banger. and like, as much as they may not think so, they're like, so did you make this or not? It's just like, I worked on this. Like that goes a long way. Like right. I worked on this myself.
Dude, and especially spending that amount of time, like they're not getting paid to be here, Bo and Dalton.
Not at all.
But they're here absorbing all the information that we are willing to share. And for us, there's a lot of people that wouldn't do kind of what we're doing, essentially like creating people that could potentially try to take work from us later. But there's so much work out there that we're not fearful of it.
Right.
And I would rather us give out the information to hopefully challenge them to be better than we are now, because A, I like the challenge. B, I wish starting this, I wish I had the information that I'm giving out now. I wish I had someone to lean on. And so instead of being like, well, I didn't have anyone to learn from,
right,
I'm going to be able to teach someone, to coach someone, to help them. And, maybe if we get them strong enough, one of them might be on the team with us later.
Yeah, exactly. And so the biggest thing is like, Steven, I'm curious to hear what you have to say as well. Would you suggest for someone to, I think us three at the table, like none of us went to formal school, right? Everything we did, we learned by ourselves, right? And so my question to you, Steven, I'm curious just because of your perspective, would you prefer to have somebody that has just a drive, starts charging $50 a video and just is literally just fumbling and stumbling all the way through until they get up higher? Or would you rather have someone sit down, learn quite a bit, maybe not necessarily film school, and then start charging at a lot higher rate because of their experience? What do you think?
I think that's something you gradually work towards. Obviously, take the time to learn. I'm going to go back to when I was young. I was around quite a bit of film, 20 years ago, but everything was so different back then. Mm-hmm. So that when I took time off and I came back to it 2-3 years ago, I had to relearn everything. I had to relearn the cameras. I had to relearn. And I honestly, I didn't really have people at the time because I was so new to it to reach out to. And I wish I had that to go and learn from others. But it was a lot of time on the internet, looking at YouTube, because I would go out and I would film and I would be like, why doesn't my image look like theirs? Mm-hmm. Why does my contrast look terrible? Why do my shadows look terrible? And at the time I didn't even know what that was. What were the shadows?
Yeah, this is in hindsight.
This is when I first started. So, you have to not be afraid though to go out and just start shooting and learn. And
so do you feel like it's a bit of both? Yes, I feel like it's a bit of both. I would have liked to have that person and have that go-to person to just learn and basically be a sponge and soak up as much knowledge. And I had that years ago, but not today because everything's so different. But I also think you have to go out on your own and learn and make mistakes on your own as well. And actually, that will fine tune you a lot better. I feel like, because you have to go out and make those mistakes. And that's actually the reason why what is the best way, and people could get mad at me for saying this, but what is the best way, man? Go start a YouTube channel. No, there is no client that's going to get mad at you. You're going to figure it out. You get copyright striked on some music, you're going to figure out. A client isn't going to be like, I couldn't post this to Facebook because you did something. No, you figured it out on your channel.
Or at least, I wouldn't say this. I mean, YouTube channel, yes, great. However, I think even creating content for yourself, you're gonna learn a lot of those lessons.
Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times I would set up lighting in my house. I would even grab my wife.
Dude,
I would grab my girlfriend at the time, and would literally just say, hey, sit here. I'm going to do you're going to read, act like you're writing something, or do this, do that, act like you're throwing something in the trash, just trying to create stories.
Dude, I didn't know this. This is like so cool. Like, I'm listening to you. I didn't know this. So like, it's interesting to hear your perspective, because I was actually very different. And like, for those of you who follow me on my YouTube channel, like I have so many movie references. And whenever I started filming and creating my stuff, were there some things that were difficult that I had to learn about story? Yes, and I'm still learning to this day. But it was so much easier for me, man, because my head is so full of movies that I think in movies. And so it was very easy for me to know when to put an insert shot, know about, the 180-degree rule, even though I didn't know it was called that. You know what I mean? And I was just like, it's so interesting to me because I never had to do that, bro, because I never had a girlfriend to put in the camera. No, I'm just kidding.
No, and that's something
but
that we
you get what
do.
I mean,
that's
right?
something that we do on a daily basis for me. I'm not sure about you guys. Is I'll go and analyze movies. I'll go and watch YouTube videos about breaking down movies and things like that. Because if you're not constantly learning what's kind of new and out there, and new or not, sorry, how are you going to get better? Like, there's guys that I see their videos have not changed over the past 3-4 years. I'm just this is why you're not growing, is because you're not learning what's working kind of now. Because let's be honest, even in movies now, there's certain things that people are doing or not doing. I'm trying to think of how to word this. I guess it's almost trends. It's almost trends in how movies are shot.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, there's trends that kind of come and go, and then there's the stuff that's timeless.
Yeah.
And so
like the principles.
Exactly. And if you're not kind of bringing new stuff into your shots and how you shoot, then you're going to get overlooked. I guess that's one way to put it.
No. I agree. Were you going to say something, Steven? No, yeah. So I mean, I completely agree with that, because there's like a lot of things that let me say it this way. So there's just one cat. All right.
Is it Greg?
No, it's not Greg.
Greg's always back.
There's this one cat, dude. This kid is like 13 years old, man. I found him on Clubhouse, and dude, this guy. All right. I'm going to give this dude a shout out right here. Okay. His name is Preston something. Okay. Dude's 13 years old.
Some shout out. That is.
That was
Preston something.
Great shout out.
Oh, man.
Preston, we're sorry.
Preston, I'm sorry, but you know who you are, bro. So like, dude, Preston is like this 13-year-old kid. Honestly, man, he's really good at what he does. His edits and everything like that. Like he's doing a very good job. Okay. Kind of like that travel videographer, fast cuts, that kind of stuff. He's doing a good job. Right. And I was talking to my friend Say, and I told him, I said, hey, bro, what do you think about his stuff? And he says, I think it's actually really good. The guy's incredible. And then I told him, I said, all right, check this out, bro. I agree with you. I think he's incredible, and I think that he's doing a great job. But if there's one thing that I mentioned to him, and I say this with so much love, and it's really a compliment to him, I said, he is in the uncanny valley. Do you guys know what the uncanny valley is? For those of you who are unaware, the uncanny valley is basically where they specifically talk about it with artificial intelligence and like making a face look real. It's like a curve. And so starting here, unrealistic. And then it gets really good, really good, really good. And then whenever there's this very small space at the top, and it's just like, it's not quite there perfect, but it's really close to being perfect, but it's not. And so you think that that's terrible. And then like there's this, it's weird because like you just think that it's trash, and it's like the curve goes like this, it goes up, and then it just gets really low for that one reason, because it's just not there yet.
Right.
But it's so good, it's just not. It's like we're just missing that much, and that's why you just
talking about his work overall, or what?
Exactly. And
Okay,
so this is what I mean. Now that you understand what the uncanny valley is, I told him, I said, bro, I gotta talk to this guy and respect this guy, not as a 13-year-old, bro, not as just some kid that is like a prodigy. No, I'm putting him at the same level as if he was like one of my colleagues, because he's that good. So now I'm gonna talk to you like if I would talk to Steven, like if I would talk to Tyler, like I'm going to talk to you that way, because you're that good. And so, and this is the last thing I want to say here, is that it happened to me, man, when it came to music. Okay. when me and learning instruments and whatnot, I picked up the keyboard at like 13 years old. And about 2-3 years in, man, I was pretty darn good, if I'm being honest with you. Right. And then I didn't really get too much better from there because people saw me as like, oh, dude, he's a 13-year-old prodigy. You don't have to teach him those technical things. Right. You don't have to tell him those things that he's doing wrong. You don't have to tell him about his colors. You don't have to tell him about his transitions, that it's overdone. You don't need to tell him about his overlays. And I struggled with that. I didn't get to grow as fast as I should have at the rate that I should have. Why? Because nobody told me, because they looked at my age and they treated me because I was in this uncanny valley, because they didn't see that I was in the uncanny valley. They
Absolutely.
Just said, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of feel the same way about Cooper. You know who he is.
Yeah. Oh,
you probably know.
Yeah,
who
dude, Cooper's this cat, man. He's a young cat, and he's an editor, man. Go for it. Go for it.
Like 14, 15 years old?
Yeah.
Getting into the industry.
Great dude.
Like also he's now going to start hosting podcasts. Anyways, I digress. But I have kind of made a point to talk to him. Like I had to kind of break that barrier of like, hey, I don't want to give you leeway because of your age.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk to you just like you said exactly. And that's a good point. Like people, don't be afraid to tell someone that they can do this or that better, or that they're doing this or that great because of the age.
You know, exactly, man. And I've said this before several times, and I'll continue to repeat it. It's like I tell people, they're just like, yo, man, how does it feel like getting all these comments on like your videos that you're so great, this and that? And I said, I'm going to be honest, dude. I don't even listen to those. They're like, oh, yeah, right. You listen to the good stuff and you reject the bad ones because you get bad comments too. And I said, no, bro, I don't give any. I was like, no, dude, I don't give any leeway to any comments, because the same comments, if I believe those great comments that they give to me and I believe those, then I'm giving that very same power to the comments, and that very same power can bring me down with negative comments as well. So it's just one of those things like, no, dude, like if you're going to talk to me, you know, if we're going to talk about encouraging you and lifting you up and everything like that, there's a level of respect and a foundation. It's just like, hey, let's grow and learn together. Don't ever say like, you made it.
Don't be the yes man.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, for instance, this morning that talk about that current project, like some people will be like, oh, that's great. Like, good, keep it going. But for Steven and I, we were like, hey, what about this? What about that? You know, and we're not afraid to say that. Otherwise, as a team, how are we supposed to grow if there's some things that he caught or I caught and you didn't catch? How are we supposed to make those changes?
Exactly. And I think that's what I was getting to, Steven, was like, we kind of talked about it right now. That was actually one of the things I was getting to, is like, I told you, I said, but the client is happy with it, man. You know, and I'm like, why do I want to change it? Because remember this, and this is where it gets into this place of, and this is like a really important thing. It gets into this place of subjectivity. You know what I mean? It gets into the place of like, if I ask you, why is your favorite color blue? You can't explain it. You just like blue better than red, and that's okay. And I feel like that's what would happen here if we were like to change the music, like you mentioned. It's just like, he likes it. Like, let's not touch it. Like does that make sense? You know?
Do you feel like it's one of those things where do you change it for your own satisfaction, or do you change it for the client's satisfaction?
Right.
Because
that's some bars right there, bro.
Because I'm always going to look and critique my own work, and that's one of the things I love about having you guys here is I'll look at something, I'll be editing something for hours upon hours, and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm not afraid to say that because I want those critiques. But at the same time, if it's something that I catch myself doing or on my own, and it's something that the client I know wouldn't even notice or realize, but I want to change it for myself and to get better in that regard. So I feel like it's like there's certain things you can get away with, but there's certain things that you want to do just to be able to better yourself and get better.
Even if it's more work for yourself.
Exactly.
Because we uphold ourselves to a different standard. Like we're so critical on our own work. You know, even if we go and finish a video, like we said in the previous podcast, even if we think it's great, we go to launch, do whatever, and come back and be like, oh, this is awful. So please, like if someone in a creator level can do something better, don't be afraid to speak up, but also come at it in a respectful way. Otherwise, you're going to get some backlash. Yeah,
and I think that actually the line starts blurring as well, because so here we go. So this happens as well. You need to make sure you take care of who you surround yourself with, because if you get somebody who all they do, and hear me out, if all they do is weddings and their edits and their transitions and everything that they do are wedding specific, and then you tell them, hey man, come and look at this edit, and this edit is something for YouTube, it's a promo, it's a hype visual, what are they going to say? They're going to sit there and say, hey, I feel like that's a little much. And they're right if they are coming from that perspective. So it's kind of one of those things like you need to be very careful with who you have speaking in your corner. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And also don't have too many yes men in your corner. Like,
oh, dude.
Like your comments like, oh, this looks great. Like I value the people that are saying, hey, this looks great. However, if we did it like this, it might be a little bit better. And it's up to us whether or not we want to take that criticism and how we want to take it.
Yeah. So, and you know, man, when it comes down to like, you know, comments, for example, like as far as speaking in your corner, I think it's cool, man, if you, like, in my YouTube channel, if you want to, like, share with me and you want to talk with me about something that could be better, this and that, I'm cool, man. Talk to me or whatever. But there is definitely a right time and a right place to talk about those things. And I guarantee you in the YouTube comments is not the way. If you really care about me and my work and to make it better, you're going to go into my DMs and you're going to have a private conversation. Because it's that whole thing of just kind of like, you know, those...
It can come off disrespectful.
Yeah, and it's like, why are you going to bring up... Why are you going to start some beef in front of everybody when this is a talk that you and I can have in private? Right. You know, I'm a lot more vulnerable and sensitive to you if you pull me aside and you sit there and say, hey, Joseph, I think that you could do this better with this. And I'll be like, all right, man, you came at me the right way. Don't go out in front trying to show out in front of everybody because, oh, well, he has this many subscribers. Like, nah, man, F that, bro.
You definitely can't be in this business if you think your shit don't stink.
Oh,
you can't. You have to. You have to be able to take criticism. You have to be able to take others' critiques. For me, it's one of those things that I'm extremely, extremely thankful for when I get it, because I know that it's just going to make the client happier. It's going to make me better. You know, it's just going to make us all around better as a team as well.
So speaking about the entire idea of taking critique and stuff, kind of shifting gears here is the whole idea of like a travel videographer, because I feel that's what all creatives want. They want to be that travel filmmaker. They want to do it.
If I could hit my hat on the table, I would.
Yeah, no, dude. It bugs me of those people, man, because those are the same people, dude, that they're breaking the rules. And I put this in quotes, all right? Nobody get mad, but it's like they're breaking the rules without knowing what rules they're breaking because they want to be cutting edge and the travel videographer game. Does that make sense? Like,
right.
Yeah.
They have no game plan.
Yeah. So you want to be a travel videographer, who's going to pay you? Like, you want to go get paid to travel and shoot videos? Have you thought about who to market to?
Yeah.
I mean, because me personally, like I'd be lying if I didn't say I wanted to be like a travel videographer. We actually did it. My wife and I did it successfully for a year and a half, 2 years of getting our travel paid for and things like that. But people that say that typically offhand don't have any sort of planning, or
they don't have a business model, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's gonna make you fail is if you don't have all this stuff in mind. Like the concept of travel videographer is great. It's fun. Like I go see new places, shoot video, do what I love to do. But you actually need a plan. Like, not saying it's not feasible for you to do, because it's definitely doable, because there's a lot of people that are doing it. However, just saying I want to be a travel videographer, which is what I've gotten in my DMs 100 times, there needs to be more thought into it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You have to have a game plan if you want to do that, man. Like, I'll say it this way. The moment that you see an Instagrammer, an influencer, a YouTuber, and the moment that their life starts to look very glamorous, and I'm going to put that in quotes, if they get to that point, I guarantee you there is so much business going behind closed doors that allows the YouTuber or the influencer to literally act like they have the most carefree lifestyle. It doesn't matter who you are, bro. Like, there's a reason why you see it, man. You see the David Dobrik's, you see the Logan Pauls, you see the travel videographers like Los LeBlanc, you see all these cats that they are showing like, yo, look at what I'm doing with my life or whatever. Dude, look up what they're doing on the business end, bro. They have employees. They have people reaching out to companies constantly. You know, they are not playing a game. The moment that the camera comes up, it's all fun. And the moment it comes down, trust me, bro, they drop in some cash on some business deals.
Yeah, contracts. You know, people to review your contract just to make sure that you're not going to get screwed in the long run.
And other people constantly like reaching out to different clients and hotels and airlines.
You're competing against a lot of people that do want to do exactly what you want to do.
Exactly.
So you better not only show out when it comes to the footage and the videos, but you better, with what you offer, the contracts and things like that. So that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, dude, I completely agree with you guys. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this 180-degree podcast. This is something that we want to touch on. It may not be as hyped as it was last time, but I think that it's really something sincere that you guys should really listen to, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Anything else to add, guys, before we wrap this ish up?
Man, I think that's it. Sorry for the lack of planning. Our weekend was crazy, and it's not this wild typically. So.
Oh, no, man, but I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to follow us on Instagram at Keyboard King, Stephen Austin Films, and Tyler Manis Photo, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.